Good morning, everyone. What a crowd. And thank you all for attending this morning's press conference. 2023, as we open the college football season here in Atlanta, no better place to do so, because it all starts here with the Cricket Meac Swac Challenge, and it will end here with the Cricket Celebration Bowl. I think we should give Atlanta a round of applause for that. I want to take a moment to recognize some people that are here today, and I want to thank them personally for coming. And I want to start with the head of our division for ESPN events, Mr. Clint Overby, who came in from Charlotte this morning. Clint, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your leadership. I want to acknowledge our board members for the advisory board for the Cricket Meac Swac Challenge and its chair, Cookie Smoke, Cookie, wherever you are. If we can give them a round of applause, thank you so much. I love you and all of our board members for what they do. We have some sponsors in the room that I also like to acknowledge. We have the U.S. Army here. We can give them a round of applause. I think I see them. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Cox and your team, for your service. We also have the Coca-Cola Company here. Michael Braxton, I believe, is here. He may be outside working, but I saw him. He is here. We have the Atlanta Airport District, Cookie Smoke again, and the Atlanta Airport District. We want to thank them. We have our team here, and I tell you, we have a team here from Strickland Security, Rob Strickland and Troy from his team. These guys do a fantastic job for us. They work with us to make sure that we have an absolute solid security plans around all of our events and everything that we do, and they coordinate all of the law enforcement entities in and around Atlanta, including our Homeland Security and so forth. So guys, thank you so much for what you do. Now I'd like to bring up a special person, because we're in his house, and a good friend, Mr. Brian Blake. He's the president of Georgia State University. Brian.
Yeah, let me say on behalf of Georgia State University, I just want to welcome everyone here. As John said, he's been such a great partner, not only in the Meac Swac Challenge, but also just a partner in Atlanta. So he's been mentoring me in my first 2 years at Georgia State. So this has been one of the most exciting things that I get to be involved with each year, with the games really kicking off our season in the stadium. I have so much appreciation for my work with John, with our ESPN sponsors. I know the two teams that are coming, South Carolina State and Jackson State this year. Just kind of getting that energy inside the stadium has been fantastic. Every time I come to the game, I realize just we don't activate the stadium like the games do. So we appreciate this challenge being here on campus. Let me take a moment to thank our athletic staff, our athletic leadership, our coaches, because they've given the opportunity for this to occur. And then it really just melds into kind of how our campus runs early in the season. So thanks a lot for being here. Best of luck for both of the teams, and really looking forward to a great celebration. Thank you.
So we can go home now. Thank you so much, Brian. It is a great honor for us. For those of you who may not know the history of this stadium, I mean, we're in the home of the 1996 Olympic Games, and to have this game here and this event here is just tremendous for us. At this point, I'd like to bring up a special guest who has a friend of ours who has a special announcement for us today. And that is our title sponsor, Mr. Tony Mokry, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for Cricket Wireless.
Hey, good morning. I'm Tony Mokry, the Vice President and CMO of Cricket Wireless, and I'm really excited to be here today, and thank you for everything that you guys do. What I want to say today is we've had a great partnership, and I'll call it a partnership because it's more than on the field, and it's also off the field of what cricket does for our customers and for everyone in this room. We come to market with the game, of course, which is very important, but we also bring campus ambassadors and partnerships in the field. And so think about a campus ambassador we have on the college campuses. We partner with them to mentor, provide jobs, but also provide in the community things that we do with the Boys and Girls Club. This game is very important to us, but it's more than just about the game. And I know I'm probably gonna get a little feedback on that piece, but I truly appreciate our partnership with ESPN Events, the Meac and SWAC. We've been partnering since 2018. And what I will say, it was before it was popular, it was the right thing to do. And we've really partnered well together, but we're just getting started. And why I say that, we've extended our partnership for another 4 years through 2027, which is which is just another awesome platform for us to continue making a difference in the community, to the students, and just to everyone that lives and works in our communities each and every day, and really appreciate it and looking forward to a great partnership over the next 4 years. Thank you.
Now we can go home. Tony, thank you. You and your team, PJ, and the team from YAW, we could not be prouder to be partners with a hometown company that's right here in Atlanta, who's made the commitment. And Cricket Wireless has been one of the most special experiences that I've had in working with sponsors. I love working with all of them, but I don't talk to any of them almost every day. And I do talk to you guys almost every day. So we have more than just a business relationship. We have a personal relationship, and that matters to us. Thank you so much for that. Questions for Tony and the cricket team will be taken by you, the media, afterwards. So please, right outside the room, any questions you have and conversations with the cricket team. And we know that you will have many, right? Make sure we do that. Also at this point, I would like to bring up our moderator. Special lady who moderated us for last year, but just let me tell you a little bit about Tanitra Batiste, right? Something like that. Let me get it right. Batiste. Tanitra is a game analyst for the Atlanta Hawks. She's also the host of ATL Day One Parts and the Taking the Locked On Sports podcast network. She is also the sports anchor, and forgive me, I don't have my glasses, so if I stumble a little bit. Sideline reporter and PA announcer for the Hawks, the NBA G League team, College Park Skyhawks. She does color commentary for college football for ESPN, and she provides pregame and postgame work for them. She's a proud graduate of Xavier University. She has given her time, talent, and treasures to her alma mater over the years. She serves as a mentor for students for Xavier's Mass Communication Department and serves as a liaison to the department's athletics. She was initiated into the Gamma Alpha chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. I know there's some members in the house, and is a Diamond Life member of her beloved sisterhood, and is currently a member of the Atlanta Suburban Alumni Chapter. Let me bring forth Tanitra.
Good morning, everyone. I'm not going to be like John. I'm going to have my glasses because otherwise I would never get through this press conference. So thank you guys so much again for having me because as John mentioned, this is truly a historical event. I am so honored that media coordinator Michelle Jinks touched base with me and asked me to again moderate for this morning's press conference. So just a little bit of background for me before we get started, in addition to what John shared. My alma mater, Xavier University of Louisiana, just so we're clear, HBCU, that is. We do not have a football team, but certainly my family has been a member, if you will, of the SWAC because they're all, except me, alumni of Southern University of Louisiana. So this is a very exciting time for my family, because anytime I can come out and represent HBCU college football, whether that is SWAC or Meac, that is certainly a privilege and an honor for the family. So that said, just wanted to give you guys a little bit of layout of what's going to happen this morning, and then we're going to dive right in. So of course, we have a little bit of a promotional video. Not that this event needs promotion, but we've got that for you this morning. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit to Jackson State head coach T.C. Taylor. We'll also hear from South Carolina State coach Buddy Pugh. And you guys will have an opportunity for Q&A to ask them questions, of course. So have those questions ready, because we have a lot of information. We have a lot of individuals and lots to cover this morning. So be prepared for those questions. We'll give you some opportunity a little bit later today. And of course, you'll have an opportunity to hear again from our executive director, John Grant. He'll be back to the podium for a big announcement. So make sure that you stay this entire morning so that you can hear from our executive director. And then, of course, there will be an opportunity for some additional conversation and commentary with the coaches later on. But with that said, want to go right to the video.
Calling all HBCU football fans to Atlanta for the Cricket Meac Swac Challenge kickoff. Jackson State, back-to-back SWAC champ, the Sonic Boom of the South. South Carolina State, 2021 HBCU national champs, the Marching 101. 2 dominant football programs, 2 phenomenal fan bases, 2 of the best bands in the land. 1 big celebration. Come early for the Coca-Cola Fan Experience tailgate, followed by a prime-time matchup. Visit meacswacchallenge.com.
And I couldn't agree with the video more. Like, this has absolutely become, as you know, executive director, more than just a game. This is an absolute experience. So yes, you want to come early, be here Thursday through Sunday to get all of the events and all of the excitement that is the Meac Swac Challenge. So without further ado, I want to give you guys a little information on, I'll say, newly minted head coach, but of course has a wealth of experience and a wealth of allegiance to the Jackson State University family, and that is head coach T.C. Taylor. So Coach Taylor, I went to the website for Jackson State, and I'm just going to read a few nuggets from there, because I think they are just as excited about you as the entirety of Jaguar Nation. So as it reads, one of the greatest Tigers to ever don the blue and white has ascended to the position of head coach at his alma mater. Coach Taylor was named the 22nd head coach for JSU football, and he officially took the reins of the program following the conclusion, of course, of the Celebration Bowl. He is a former JSU QB as well as wideout. He's been a part of the football staff since 2019, coaching tight ends and wide receivers, and has played, of course, a key role in their historic run the last couple of seasons, where JSU posted a 23-3 record over those 2 seasons and won back-to-back SWAC championships. So without further ado, let us welcome to the stage Jackson State coach T.C. Taylor. And Coach Taylor will ask you to have a seat, and if you would just give us an opening statement telling us a little bit about what you guys are looking forward to in the upcoming season and how excited you are to be here for representing the SWAC for the Meac Swac Challenge.
Thank you. It's truly a blessing to be here today as the 22nd head coach of Jackson State University in the city of Atlanta. Me and Mr. Grant, we talked about it yesterday. If you think back from 2019 to this point, Jackson has played in the city of Atlanta 3 times. So this is going on the 4th time. I can't say enough about the Meac Swac Challenge, the cricket organization, and the things that you guys do for us putting this together. Unbelievable event. Unbelievable event going on over here, and we're truly excited about it. All the sponsors as well. But we're looking forward to it. Like I said, we're back in Atlanta on a platform of ABC television. First-time head coach going against the legendary. There he is over there on the corner sitting in the front row. He just smiles. That's all I know about him. He just smiles every time. But I know one thing about him. He's going to bring a good football team in Atlanta, and they're going to be ready to go. We was talking about it earlier, some of the battles we had when I was at North Carolina Central. He was still at South Carolina State. But we had some great battles there. He has developed some great players. But Our football team is pumped and ready to go. You know, I talked about it yesterday at SWAC Media Day. You know, a lot of people don't know because of all of the turnover on our roster this year. You know, we lost close to 60, 70 players, so we brought in quite a few new guys, but they're ready to go. We reported on Monday for training camp. We'll have our first practice this evening at about 5:30, so I'll be trying to bust it out of here real quick to catch a plane to get back because I'm excited about this football team. Let me say something about this. We lost a lot. We brought a lot in for as coaches, trainers, and everything is new, but all of them got one thing on their mind, and that's starting in Atlanta and finishing in Atlanta. And we're excited about it. They preach it on a day-to-day basis, and we'll start that journey here, you know, in about, 31, 32 days. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again for having us, Mr. Grant, Cricket, all the sponsors in the building tonight, and I'm ready to go.
Thank you so much, Coach Taylor. And yes, that smile is very familiar to me. I was just talking to Coach Buddy Pugh a couple of minutes ago, and interesting, like you said, Coach Taylor, Coach Pugh is very familiar with starting in Atlanta and finishing in Atlanta. And that's the last time I saw you when South Carolina State finished in Atlanta. So just a little bit about Coach Pugh. As Coach Taylor mentioned, he is the all-time winningest coach in South Carolina school history. It's his 21st season. That longevity in college football is not to be underestimated. Now, during that 21-year tenure at the school, he earned a bachelor's, he earned a master's, as well as all Meac honors as an O lineman, and has compiled an overall record of 146 and 87 and 112 and 42 as his Meac worksheet, and he captured his first Celebration Bowl championship in 2021, of course, knocking off top-ranked Jackson State, but I know you have something to say about that, to win his 5th HBCU national crown. So without further ado, the pride of South Carolina State, Coach Buddy Pugh.
You got it. Thank you.
And Coach Pugh, I'd like to give you an opportunity to share a few words with our audience as well.
Thank you very much, Tanisha. Did I get that name right? Because John
Close
kept
enough.
Close enough. It's a pleasure to be here. It's exciting to be back at this time of year. You get football kind of going again. Our guys are getting ready to go. I first like to bring you greetings from our president, Alexander Conyers, our president of South Carolina State. I've got my AD here, my boss, Ms. Keisha Campbell. Got some other folk here. You see them scattered around the room that came to support us here today. And we just look forward to getting this season going again because it's been a long time since we won a football game. And I don't know if y'all realize it or not, but we hadn't beaten anybody since North Carolina Central last year. And, we talk about how good we played in the Celebration Bowl the year before. We came back and thought that we would be pretty good this past year. And it was a disappointing year for us. So, you Celebration Bowl guys, you SWAC, MAC Challenge guys, you MAC SWAC Challenge guys, let me tell you something. We just want to play football at South Carolina State. I guarantee you, it's been a long off season. So we are looking forward to this game, in a way that, we got to get it going again. So it's been a long time coming. We are extremely excited about the young men that we bring back into our program. We've got some change from the time that we were here the last time. A good many of our players are different guys from this point. It'll be a good football game. I guarantee you, Coach Taylor, I can remember when he was coaching back at North Carolina Central back some years ago. He and part of his staff that he's got now, those guys, have kind of reunited and kind of put that group back together a little bit with the group that Coach Mack had up at Central some years ago. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you that they got after us in a way that really gets our attention. So it'll be a tough game for us. It'll be a fun game for us, I guarantee you, to come here to play in, this really nice facility here, that Georgia State is allowing us to, to partner with and play this game with. John, all of you guys, Tony, we appreciate you. You guys do a fantastic job. ESPN, this is wonderful in what you guys have done for the conferences, MEAC and the SWAC conferences, putting this thing together. We've got the best thing going, maybe in college football, between the Celebration Bowl and the Challenge game. So we're excited about being here and looking forward to it, and hopefully we go out and play really good on this coming 26th of August, and we'll see what happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. And just as a reminder, as we begin the Q&A session, let's just make sure that we double check that our phones are on silent, because we're going to roll right through this. And also just do, as you have been doing already this morning, just kind of keep our conversations to a minimum, because we want to make sure that each coach has an opportunity to both hear questions and answer questions as well. So with that in mind, I want to start off with a couple of questions for both of you. And you guys kind of alluded to this as well, but I want to kind of circle back to it because I think it's very important. And I mentioned it as well in my opening, the fact that this challenge just continues to evolve just in terms of what it offers both on and off the field. Of course, we kick things off with a high school seminar. That's Thursday, August 26th. We then move to the welcome reception on that Friday and the Coca-Cola fan experience that, of course, precedes the game kickoff on ESPN. Now, when you think about that, it's more than just a game, right? So I wanted to ask you all, from your perspective, how important is it to have such an expansive experience as it relates to just shining the spotlight on the amazing talent and treasures that we have here in HBCU college football?
Well, anytime you have a wonderful occasion such as this and you gather folk, you want to try to have some real meat and potatoes of what you ought to actually do to support your community. We all trying to influence young folk in a way that we want to create something that's going to spur them on to greater things in the future. And the things that we can do to encourage them, surrounded by a game, because it's what draws them in. But once we get them, we're going to do some real good things for them to get them going in the future that way. So anything we can do that way, I think, is a great contribution to our community.
I think that weekend is going to be special. You talk about platforms for HBCU football in itself. And, you know, for some things to be lined up from Thursday all the way up through that football game, it's good for the South Carolina State. It's good for Jackson State. It's good for all the HBCUs to have that platform. That's why it's so important for us to put on at all those events, even with the football game. You know, everything is on a high-level stage, and, you know, everybody's looking. And you're talking about from East Coast, West Coast, North, South. Many people don't know a lot about HBCUs, and that's our time to shine. That's how I look at this whole event coming up.
Indeed, indeed, coaches. And just to add a little bit to that, I was speaking with a colleague of mine this morning, and he was saying, yeah, you know, there are games played on week 0, and there's some random game played at Georgia State. I said, I'm sorry, excuse me, what?
Exactly.
Random game? No, this is no random game. This is the start of college football, so this is big, and I had to make sure that my colleague understood the importance of this game as it relates to not just HBCU college football, but the entirety of college football. So thank you all so much. And then I want to just toss you guys another quick question before we send it over to the media and our audience. So I'll ask you both this question, and whoever wants to answer first answers first, but maybe I'll toss it over to you, Coach Taylor, first. Of course, the SWAC released its preseason SWAC team standings, if you will, or its preseason poll, and that was released on yesterday. Individual winners, predicted order of finish, all SWAC teams, et cetera. Specifically in the East, FAMU's projected to finish #1 ahead of Jackson State. Is that motivation for your team?
I mean, it's always motivation, but I look at the preseason, no games been played. You know, that's a team that's going to have to see us following that the Meac Swac Challenge, and we'll take care of that business then, though, you know. But that's a lot of minds coming together. This nominating players and teams that they hadn't even seen, you know, and that's what I said about it yesterday. They don't know. You know, they hadn't seen the new Jackson State football team, and we're going to show them, you know, coming about 31, 32 days with what we've been cooking all summer. You know, it's been a great summer off season for us. I'm excited about it, but it's all about the postseason. You know, what do you look like at the end of the season? You know, that's what we're excited about.
Yeah, and making a decision before toe meets leather is always interesting, because before those pads get put on, it's just conjecture, right?
No
and
doubt.
Coach Pugh, the MEAC also released its preseason all MEAC teams last week, along with individual winners and predicted order of finish. South Carolina State's actually projected to be about in the middle of the pack at #3. Is that motivation for your team?
It is. Anytime you're not there, you know, in the eyes of your opponents, you were a little bit concerned. But I can tell you that, I was worried about us being voted last. So now you're talking about being voted in the middle of the pack. They actually gave us a little bit better credit than what I would have given us, given the circumstances. The only good thing about it is, you want to try to get a chance to sneak up on them a little bit. So if I'm farther back, then I got a little longer runway that way. But hey, we'll see. It's exactly what Coach Taylor said. Any of that kind of stuff is motivation for the year. It gives you an opportunity to say, hey, look what they think about us. We got to do something up here, that kind of stuff. So at that point, then we'll get a chance to use that to our advantage.
Yeah, it sounded like bulletin board material as well. So thank you all for that. And what we want to do now is open it up to media. When you get the microphone in hand, please have your question ready. Please have your name ready and give us your affiliation and briefly state your question.
Mason Smith with HBCU Legends. Coach Pugh, the first game of the year also has a unique challenge because you don't know how rosters change. They have a lot of people back. What challenge is it for your team, seeing that Jackson State's roster has had so much turnover in preparing for the first game of the year?
It's hard. You don't know exactly what to prepare for. You got to go around and figure out all kinds of angles to possibly figure what they might do based on the fact that they've got different players, they got different coaches. And, our season is almost entirely that way in the early part because we played Jackson the first game. They've got 2 new coordinators and a new head coach. Then we go to Charlotte, and they've got a totally new crew at Charlotte. Then we come back to Georgia Tech, and I'm sure you all aware, what's going on over there and the fact that they've changed around their staff. And then we go off for a week, and then we play the Citadel. And the Citadel's got a totally new staff. So it's just kind of business as usual for us that we don't have a clue what anybody's doing. The only good thing about it is we only open with 2 of those teams. We do open with Jackson, who will have not played a game with their new staff, and then we open with Charlotte, who is also not open, who will also not play the game yet. It'll be there. We play week 0 and week 1 against 2 new staffs. So it's a little bit of an issue that way. But you know what? Once we get out there and get to playing, we got to kind of figure it out as we go.
Question over here.
Thank you. Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab, 12 HBCU football championships between the 2 programs. But I wanted to get a little bit into the X's and O's, and I know you're not going to tell us too much, but Corey Fields is coming back in terms of the quarterback play. For you, Coach, what does that look like in terms of going up against the defense of Jackson State? And for you, Coach Taylor, on the opposite side, what do you want to get done with your defense in terms of this new regime, particularly going after a quarterback such as Corey Fields?
Yeah. Anytime you face a quarterback like Corey, you got to be disciplined. That's what we talked about. Some of the things that he can bring to a football game, beat you with his arm, with his legs, So we got to be disciplined. We feel like the strength of our football team is on the defensive line. We got great depth over there. We got some guys that can really play. I feel like our coaching staff hit on some good transfers, some guys that really can play at a high level. Over the last couple of years, we've been so successful because we've been #1 defense in the country, turnovers and things like that. So we want to continue to preach that going forward. To me, defense wins championships, offense sells tickets. You hear that all the time. But we live by, die by that. But I'm very excited about that defense. I think that was the kid that played against us and did a heck of a job here in the Celebration Bowl a couple years ago against us. So we're excited about the challenge, getting the opportunity to go up against him again. And like I told the D-line, and our defensive staff, just make sure you're disciplined, keep him in the pocket, those kind of things, and see if he can beat us with his arm.
And then Corey is a wonderful young man who has finished his undergrad and is in the last semester of his graduate degree in phys ed. He'll be a athletic director, a teacher, or something of that nature. Pretty soon, right? He wants to be a high school athletic director, and he's been a really mature guy in a way that he's almost like having a coach on the field. So it's great having that guy back. Now we've got a new offensive coordinator, so it's a little bit different kind of setup as far as how we do stuff, given those circumstances. But it's always good to have a guy in your scheme that kind of half the way you can depend on to know what to do.
Question to you, right?
Oh, okay. Travis McGee, HBCU Ball and Show. Coach Taylor, I met you last Celebration Bowl. You have a lot of confidence, and Coach Buddy Pugh, I met you at the Celebration Bowl before that. And I want to jump right into it, man. How has the transfer portal helped both of your programs on both sides of the ball? I mean, I know you lost a lot of, players here and there, but tell me how the transfer portal, helped your program.
You want me to go ahead?
Listen, you the transfer portal guy. I'm just kind of sitting there with the same little ragtag bunch we had the last time. Go for it. I need to know too. Go for it, TC.
I get that question a lot about the transfer portal, and it has paid dividends for Jackson State over the years. Everybody knows that. The departure of Coach Prime, a lot went to Colorado, a lot went to other places. So as far as bringing in my new coaching staff, we talked about, we got to go hit this transfer portal. All it is right now, you're dealing with NFL free agency. The thing about it, the thing that we do a good job of is vetting those guys that we bring in. You can't, a lot of times I tell them, like, you inheriting other people's problems sometimes, so you got to make sure you're getting the right kid. And we've done a great job of that. I was concerned about the summertime and how all of them would gel with like close to 60, 70 new guys. But the chemistry has been crazy. It kind of scares me at times to see how well they come together and how quickly they did. But it's been good for us. I have to say that we're going to continue to recruit out of it. What we also try to do is get some young guys. There's some young kids in there that are in there because of playing time issues. They have, 2 and 3 seasons left. So, they're still able to buy into your culture and your program. And I feel like we did a good job with that. But basically what we did in December, once we started getting so much turnover, we had immediate needs. And we started to attack those needs out of the portal. So, as far as vetting the kids, understanding the parents, you check with the parents and where they're coming from, and also reaching out to the coaches and the staffs that they previously came from, and trying to do a good job of that and making sure you're hitting on the right ones.
We did have 3 young men to transfer into our program this past Christmas, this past January. One tight end from Chattanooga, a linebacker from Delaware State, and a corner from Alcorn. Is it Alcorn or Alcorn?
Alcorn.
Alcorn. we had that conversation a lot. Anyway, we have 3 in, and then we lost 2. We lost the Davis twins, BJ and Shaq. Both guys, well, actually Shaq left him. He went through the portal to the NFL, and BJ went through the portal to East Carolina, and we actually lost a running back too. So it kind of balances out for us. Whether it's good or bad, I'm still kind of figuring this thing out. It's kind of toward the end of an old man's time, and I don't know sometimes if I can figure out between NILs and transfer portals, it gets to be a pretty good little deal to figure that stuff out. So I'm just kind of sitting there watching, trying to see what's next. Thank you.
Question to you, right?
Emmanuel Glaze, the Crush Sports Talk. Coach Taylor, we know about the previous regime and what was going on and everything that went on at Jackson State. What can people and fans expect from the Coach Taylor regime at Jackson State?
Continued success. We want to continue our winning ways. Like I preach to our staff and our football team, everybody in the building, trainers and all, we're the 2-time defending SWAC champs. Hadn't lost a SWAC game in 2 years, so we want to continue those ways. Something we always talk about too, we want to be a more physical football team. We talk about adding physicality. Our strength coach I brought in over from Texas Tech, Jalen Watson, he did a heck of a job this summer with those guys for us, changing their bodies, changing some of the mindsets. Like I said, we had anytime you bring in like 60 new kids, new players, you got to mold them and get them to believing in the JSU brand and way. That he did a heck of a job with that, as well as my coaching staff. We started training camp on the other day, they reported, but I'm here now, so I feel comfortable enough to be here, and know that they taking care of everything. But those are some things we talked about, the physicality of our football team going forward, and just making sure all these guys accept our culture and the winning ways and all the success we had in the past.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Roy Evans with the Black College Sports Network. And I have a question for both, but it's kind of experience, two sides of the same coin. Last year, Jackson State was top 3 in both offensive and defensive statistically. Coach Pugh, this is your 21st season as a head coach, and you've probably seen everything in this league. Coach Taylor, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first head coaching position.
Yes.
And so you're new into that chair. How does that statistic, or those two statistics, really mesh as you're getting prepared for this first game of the season when nobody's going to see what's happening with such a high turnover on your team? So, Coach, from your side of it, preparing for them, and then Coach Taylor, for you preparing to go out with this new turnovers on your team.
I think it's hard for us to prepare for a team that we don't know much about with the circumstances the way we have them placed in front of us. It's a tough deal to not know personnel and possibly coaching staff. So we've got a little bit of an uphill battle in front of us, and we've got to get good fundamentally at just doing the base things so that we can then go in and just have a good sound approach on both sides of the ball. And then as the game goes on, then we'll figure some things out. But at this point right now, we are clueless as to what scheme-wise these guys are, personnel-wise, who will actually be in place because of the fact that it's just, our information is just so limited.
We got to keep it that way too, Coach. Yeah, I think Coach hit it on the head. You just got to get back to the basics, when you're dealing with anytime you're playing that first football game. You talk to your football team about coming out playing hard, executing, not turning the football over, and finding ways to beat yourself. Coach got a couple new coaches on the staff too, like he said. So I know that we've been trying to figure out and do our research on what we may see and how they may come out and play us. But it's just about coming out and playing hard. Getting your football team motivated. I don't think we'll have a problem getting them motivated anytime you're in the city of Atlanta. And when JSU Nation shows up, that energy is going to be in the building. But we just can't find ways to beat ourselves. And and the main thing is it's going to come down to both teams. Who's ready for the fourth quarter. Who's going to be ready in the fourth quarter, because a lot of adjustments are going to be made throughout that football game. We'll be filling each other out like a boxing match, and when you get to the fourth quarter, it's like now we got to figure out a way to win this football game.
Jake McDonald, Core 360 Sports. Coach Taylor, Atlanta, as for all his glory, has not been too kind to Jackson State, dropping 3 ball games here. What will be your brand? I mean, we know what Coach Sanders, his brand of football was when he was at the helm, but what will be your mark? What will distinguish the Coach Taylor Jackson State football team?
As far as I think it's the preparation of our football team, and how well we do as a staff, getting them ready to play and getting them ready for the entire event of that week. As far as travel, everything is organized, getting on the plane the right way, looking the right way, getting off the plane the right way. As far as pulling up to the hotel, looking the right way, looking the part, looking organized. I think all those things come into play when you talk about a successful football team. Kids look for organization. They're big on the organization piece, and, they critique coaches as well on that kind of stuff. So we try to make sure we get everything right. But just going forward, like I said, it's those things as far as preaching physicality, playing hard, and my main thing, with all the new faces, again, just playing together and understand, this is going to be a physical football game. Coach Pugh, ever since I've been going against him, he's coached some great NFL talent, Darius Leonard and some other guys, and they'll hit you in the mouth. That's what I'm trying to get these guys to understand. It's not going to be easy. This is a team that beat us 2 years ago, and they come into Atlanta to win another.
Macy, you heard Crush Sports Talk. This is for Coach Taylor as well. Have you enjoyed the quiet as we get ready for the 2023 season? Not all the cameras, not all of the social media stuff, just the quiet as you get ready for the season.
What quiet you talking about? Dwayne, I ain't experienced the quiet shit too. No, I haven't really experienced the quiet yet. It's been, I've been having to go here to there. I was in Detroit visiting the Alumni Association up there. It's been quite a whirlwind. That's what me and Coach was talking about earlier. I'm ready to get back to the X's and O's. I mean, I've been in suits I'm not used to all this. I wanna go coach football. My team missing me, I'm missing them. But it's been a blessing. I'm just taking this all in. God has told me a long time, I would be in this seat. I didn't know it was Jackson State, but I knew eventually somebody would give me an opportunity to be a head coach. And, I'm going to make this work. Make sure I put the right people around me that got my best interest in heart, believe in God, believe in family. That's who's been with me through this whole process. And, I'm just excited and taking it all in. But I am ready to get on this plane and get back to a little football, though.
Question to your right.
BJ Jones, Black College Sports Network. And this is a question for both of you. Coach Taylor, taking over a new program, your alma mater, you have the big stage, SWAC Meac Challenge, national broadcast. How does that benefit both of your programs when you start sitting in living rooms and recruiting young men to come to your programs? And more importantly, how does that impact HBCU football as a whole?
Yeah, I'll go first. I don't know of anyone who did not see the last ABC broadcast that we played Jackson State here in the Celebration Bowl in 21. I'd be in the grocery store and old ladies who I had no idea would sit and watch a football game. Coach, I saw y'all play Jackson State. Y'all beat Dion. And it was an unbelievable experience in a way that I just never really realized that kind of activity resonated throughout the country the way it did. So it's good to be don't sell ESPN and ESPN2 and all the other little brothers they have down the line a piece. But when you go on ABC on Saturday evening at 7 o'clock, then you're going to get a big benefit from it, and your university is going to get, an advertisement that they almost couldn't afford to buy otherwise.
I think it's huge. You look at what happened on yesterday. I think ESPN picked up the rest of our season. So we want to take that and go with it. The way recruiting is now, we talked about the transfer portal. You get all eyes. You get all eyes. So when you get those kind of moments, it's important for, regardless of who's on that platform, to go out and show a good brand of football. That's how I look at it. You don't want things to be sloppy, a lot of penalties, jumping off sides. You got 13 players on the field. You just want to make sure you're putting on a good brand of football and letting these networks and these platforms know, we're playing good football in HBCU. We're doing good things. You look back this past season, we only had one guy drafted. And just going forward, we continue this platform. This is a great way and a great benefit for the players to go out and show that they can play on the next level as well. So I think it's huge for all of HBCU football and recruiting.
Question right
Hey, Raphael Sharper, Black College Basement, aka Famous Fees. Question for both of you, Coach Pugh. Coming off of a disappointing campaign last season and starting off the season here against the defending back-to-back SWAC champion, how do you use that as motivation to prepare your boys to jumpstart the next season? And to Coach Taylor, do you plan to keep the swag and overall environment of this what you had in the prior regime, or are you going to just put your own stamp on it and just run things a little differently over there?
Yeah. I think it's pretty obvious when you look around that some of the people who were there last year, as we were going through the issues that we went through last year, are no longer there. And, that's motivation in a way that you'll always know that with success, you get benefits, and with failure, there are some benefits that also come about. So I can tell you that we've had an unbelievable off-season getting ourselves up and running, getting ready for this coming season in a way that I don't know if we could have had if we had the success that we'd had. We thought we were a little bit fat around the edges after having gone through that good season and 21. And we didn't have a great regular season even that year. So we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. We came into last year, thinking that we were going to just kind of go out and it was going to happen. I think we know better now. So we got to see if we can make it happen in a little different manner this 23 year.
When you say swag, what do you mean exactly?
Just, like the flashiness, that everything was video. Like we followed every single step of the way for 3 years. We know everything that y'all been doing. Like, you plan to just kind of keep everything rolling like that, or kind of button that up a little bit?
I'm putting my own particular spin to it. I'm not a big flashy guy. I'm more of a quiet guy. Quiet as kept. I like the players out front. You look at what we did this spring. Under Armour came in and did a mini documentary for us, and it was more about the players. But no knock. That's not no knock against Coach Prime. Great career here at Jackson State. I learned a lot from him. One thing we had in common, he was a first-time head coach, had a lot to prove, and here I am, a first-time head coach with a lot to prove. But I'm still wearing my shades out on the field, if that's what you call it, swag. I work out every morning, so, but, that energy got to carry to my players. It carries to my players. I got to walk in confidence, and that's what I do on a daily basis. I speak in confidence, and I think that got to carry to the football team, and it will. You look at the way they approach the game now and approach practices, they're a reflection of me. They're a reflection of me, but I'm not a big talker. I'm not a big talker. You won't see a lot of the social media stuff that you've seen in the past. A lot of it will be a lot more about the players, because I'm all about them elevating too as well. And Coach Prime did that, previously also. So it's just a little bit different, different era, different things going on moving forward. And then another thing is too, a lot of those kids that was there for him are not here no more. They playing for TC, and that's the thing going forward. So they're going to kind of take on more of my image and the way I approach things. Yeah.
Ernest Ricks, MTMV Sports. Coaches, I want to know from both of you all, from the standpoint of your students, from your players, what does it mean to them to be in the SWAC Meac Challenge?
I'll go first, Coach. For us, I know we talk about, it's a little payback. To be honest, you get another opportunity at a South Carolina State team that, kicked our butts on TV a couple years ago. They really came out and, like I said earlier, hit us in the mouth. So, once this game was announced, Mr. Grant announced this game and said that we was going to be in this football game, man. And, we had guys licking their chops. And what's crazy about it, we talk about all the new people, but, they fired up. And I be telling them, like, y'all don't even know nothing about this game, Even the coaches, they fired up. I'm like, man, y'all don't know what's coming, So you try to prepare them on a day-to-day basis and let them know, this is gonna be epic, come August 26th, and just understand, that, like I said earlier, the platform that we'll be playing on, and understand this. Coach Pugh is gonna bring a team that's gonna hit you in the mouth, and gonna play a physical brand coming out of Meac.
Mm-hmm. I think our team is motivated to play a SWAC team. The league is somewhat of a rival of ours. It's just a regular deal. Anytime we play one of the teams over there, and they've taken a couple of our teams, there have been some things that have gone on that have created some rivalry kinds of style of thoughts with our teams. So anytime you look across the letter right there and you see a team that you really know is coming to get after you the way Jackson is going to get after you, I think it's pretty easy to get yourself up to play. Anytime you have a year the way that we had last year, though it's not Jackson, it's anybody. Anybody that shows up in front of us at that point, it becomes a real big deal for us to have, our best foot forward. And at that point, then we've got to, then let it happen.
This will be our last question two last questions from the audience.
Yes, good afternoon. Or should I say good morning? This is for both coaches. Michael Jefferson with Block Sports. Question for Coach Pugh first. The MEAC is considered to play a much physical brand of football over the SWAC, at least that's a lot of people say that. My question is, do you agree with that? And Coach TC, watch you play football back in the 90s, are you planning on bringing that type of physicality that you played under back to Jackson State?
We think that the style of ball between the two leagues is a little bit different. The SWAC's a little bit larger league. It's flashier. They got bigger stadiums, some of those kind of things. We think that our league is kind of a down-home kind of league. But now everybody in our league is pretty much even. Anybody on any day can beat you. We think sometimes I guess parity between us sometimes gives people a little bit of a confidence that they think that we're not very good. And the fact that we all pretty good, we feel like is maybe the one characteristic that kind of fools people a little bit about us. So I can tell you that we think that we do a better job overall from top to bottom. Now, our top is a lot closer to our bottom because there's only 6 of us. But the 6 of us all will get after it on any given day. And we think that might be what makes us different from the big league over here with the 12 schools.
That was good.
Vicki Jones, VMH Magazine and Sports right here. Vicki Jones, VMH. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we did play a physical brand back then when I played, but the game was so different, as opposed to now. Thinking back then, we was talking about my coach, Big Daddy Carson. We were doing 3-a-days. You wake up in the morning, practice, go eat lunch, come back and practice, and you back over there at night. You practicing. So NCAA not standing over you. Things are so different now. So you find ways to try to preach physicality. It's even the way you have to approach practices now. There's no more Oklahoma drills or things like that. So I think physicality is one in the weight room. That's where your strength coach come into play. He's spending a lot of time with them, putting, adding muscles to the body, getting them faster and things like that. And just trying to continue to preach it, because, I talk and they hear about how good of a player I was, but every one of them out there think they can come out there and, dominate me. I hear it all the time. But, just the game is so much different now than opposed to the time that I played the game. So you're just trying to find ways to, implement some physicality drills in practice and, get that going with your football team.
Okay. Vicki Jones with VMH Magazine and Sports. I'm going to say this as quickly as possible. Before the lights were on, to the degree that they are now in terms of exposure, ABC, all the networks, ESPN, everyone seeing HBCUs as a whole, you guys were doing it. The drive. I don't want to assume, but what drives you and continue to drive you before the lights to do what you do for HBCUs, leadership and coaching?
It's a joy for me to go to my office every day and mix with my coaches and players and all the people around our program that way. So it's pretty easy, even though I've been doing this for 40-some years now, to get up and go to work in a way where I'm not thinking about retiring. It is a pretty safe bet that you never have to say, man, boy, I sure don't want to go to work today. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to get out of my house and go out. And the guys do everything from teach me how to, I don't even wear my phone the way you old folks wear your phone. Y'all got clips on your side. The boss said, no, coach, you don't wear it that way. You put it on like this, that kind of stuff. Now, I got to have a little bit of, I guess maybe oversight when I deal with their music, because now when I have music playing during practice, and we looking for crowd noise, and so everybody now the in vogue thing is for you to have these big speakers and DJs and all that kind of stuff out there doing practice to have some kind of noise element going. So you have to have the communication dealing with the noise that way. But at the same time, man, I don't know if I can handle some of the stuff that I hear come over the speaker waves that way. So, there are things that I enjoy, and there are things that I sometimes have to take a little bit of a step back. But I can tell you, it's more fun going to work in my particular situation because these guys keep me young than anything else that I possibly could be doing.
I think the thing for me is the development of these young men. Watching them, you get them. When I'm recruiting these student athletes, I always talk to these parents and talking about we running a relay race, and I'm running that last leg for you, getting them ready for life. And just to see, you know, a young man come into your program at no matter the age and just see the things they do, what we call in our program, we get them ready for life after football. You know, teach them resume build, how to write a resume. We take them through mock interviews and things like that, and just get them ready for the real world. You know, I tell them all the time, football can open so many doors for you. You know, it did it for me. That's why I'm here sitting in this seat. You know, it's all about relationships and the people that you know. But that's my motivation to get up every day and just get them ready, not only for the games and the pageantry of, you know, those weekends, it's to get them ready for life. You know, nothing makes my day better when a previous player I coached would call me and say, "Coach, I'm doing this now. You know, I'm working at this company right now. I'm doing that. I remember you told me this, Coach. You taught me how to write a resume. You remember you helped me pull that up online and showed me what I need to do." That's why I do this. You know, that's the motivation I have in this in the game.
Stephen Gaither, HBCU Game Day. To both coaches, I'll ask Coach Pugh. You've been around almost as long as it has been in Meac. You know, as a player, as a coach, you've seen it all. So
you know what? I hadn't thought about it, but I have. I was there the first year of the Meac.
There we go. So I know you spoke a little bit about it earlier, but what do you, as you talk about, what's the culture of the Meac as you see it moving forward, as you guys continue to plot your path? And then, you know, Coach Taylor, I know last year we had about whole debate about who's SWAC and who isn't SWAC. We all know that you're SWAC. You know, where do you see your league going ahead of, you know, as you guys launch the season?
I think the Meac considers itself a cutting edge kind of league. You know, we take a lot of pride in doing things at a real high level. All the different kinds of things you do, from player development to academic support to strength and conditioning, to all the different kinds of things that you can do throughout your program, I think we feel like we do at a high level. And, you know, that might be the most important part of it all. There's always, you know, something that you see on TV that you say, you know, I think that's really neat. You know, I think you want to really, you know, try to, you know, maybe replicate that kind of deal. But you see a lot of that kind of stuff on my film in the MEAC. And those are the kinds of things that I really enjoy talking about and being labeled as being, you know, the maybe inventor of, or that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff comes out of our league.
I think the SWAC hot right now. You know, you look at everything that's going on in the SWAC right now with the pageantry. You know, the fans, to me, make the SWAC what it is. You look at these football games week in, week out, no matter if it's a Southern Fam game, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, you know, that rivalry, Jackson State, Alcorn, you know, those are packed houses. I'm very excited about where we are in this league. You know, we just added 2 new teams with FAMU and Bethune-Cookman from the MEAC, and they have come in there and been competitive, though. But I'm very excited about where the league is going. Even you talk about the SWAC championship game. You know, that's a special event that, you know, we're looking forward to participating again in this year. But I mean, the fans make the SWAC what it is. You know, we got some great players and some unbelievable coaches in this league, too. So, you know, I'm very excited about where we're going right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach Pugh. Thank you, Coach Taylor.
Thank you.
Good job.
And we'll ask Executive Director John Grant to re-enter the podium with a special announcement.
One thing for sure, it never gets old or boring here in Atlanta, and specifically at the Meac SWAC Challenge. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but you know, the SWAC influence always says SWAC Meac, even though it's clearly Meac Swac. So the Cricket Meac SWAC Challenge is the official name of our event. I need rebranding. You know, this is a special moment for us here this morning because we have a special announcement. And before I run this announcement, I would like to roll a video.
precision, rankings, design, excitement, all part of the winning formula in the fight to become ESPN Events Band of the Year. This fall, halftime shows take on a whole new meaning as HBCU bands throughout the country battle for an invitation to showcase their excellence at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Each week, bands will be ranked based on top performances, accuracy, and swagger. Bands will be judged on showmanship, musicianship, and technique by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 bands, the top 2 for both Division I and Division II, will punch their ticket to Atlanta and compete at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Friday, December 15th. It is there where a national champion will be crowned for the first time. The Band of the Year, presented by ESPN Events.
ESPN
Calling
Events
all
is thrilled
HBCU
today
football fans
to announce the most highly anticipated marching band competition ever. A season where rhythmic beats, melodic harmonies, and outstanding showmanship will culminate with the crowning of a national champion. This year, the season-long road to Atlanta and championship weekend just widened. Not only will the road consist of football and the crowning of a national champion at the Cricket Celebration Bowl, HBCU marching bands from Division I and Division II will compete through the season to earn the right to showcase their talent in Atlanta and vie for the coveted title of Band of the Year. From perfectly synchronized formations to breathtaking musical arrangements, this competition promises to be a feast for the senses. When you think of homecomings, classics, and home games, they now take on an added meaning, and every performance counts. Our esteemed panel of judges, experts in the field of marching band excellence, will be led by the foremost expert in marching bands, Mr. Don Roberts. And Don is here. Don, will you stand and raise your hand, if you would, please. Don is a veteran in the band director community and served as the president of the Minority Band Directors National Association. Mr. Roberts serves as the executive band consultant for the 20th Century Fox hit movie Drumline. He was responsible for the training the actors, writing the precision drills, rehearsing the bands, and etc. Mr. Roberts was also appointed as the executive band consultant for the VH1 and Fox television studio movie Drumline: A New Beat, which was the long-awaited sequel to Drumline. He served as band consultant for Beyoncé's Homecoming from the Bleachers at Coachella in 2018 and has numerous other accolades and awards. He is the real deal. And we are excited to partner with him on this first of its kind competition. Our judges will meticulously evaluate each performance and produce a bi-weekly ranking posted on ESPN.com. But it's more than a competition. It's about celebrating the power of music, the camaraderie it fosters, and showcasing the competitive work of the talented student athletes and musicians. Never before has this stage been so big or the performances meant so much. So come out or tune in to follow your favorite bands, applaud their hard work, and be a part of an unforgettable experience. Now get ready. Mark your calendars, spread the word. Gather your friends and family for an incredible event of musical brilliance at the Band of the Year. Join us on December 15, 2023 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium as we showcase the immense talent and dedication of the top HBCU marching bands in the nation who have earned their way to Atlanta as they vie for the title of national champion on the eve of the Cricket Celebration Bowl Championship weekend. 2023 is sure to be an unbelievable year, something you don't want to miss. So stay tuned for our updates to our website and our social media platforms. Let the drums roll, the trumpets blare, and the music soar as HBCU marching bands compete to be crowned the Band of the Year. We will see you throughout the season and at the championship. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? For
Ernest Rick, MTMV Sports. I just wanted to know, has it already been determined how many bands will be invited to Atlanta to compete in the final Band of the Year competition?
That's a very good question. We're going to take the top two from Division I. This is conference neutral. Top two, Division II. So there'll be 4 bands. 2 of them, all 4 will come to Atlanta, and the 2 Division IIs will compete head-to-head for the national championship at the Division II level, and the Division Is likewise will compete head-to-head for the national championship there. So we will crown 2 national champions at each division, 1 at each division level.
Mason Smith with HBCU Legends. Mr. Grant, obviously this is growing to such a phenomenal event with the Meac Swac Challenge. As you kind of see it grow over the decade, how do you feel about the tournament, about the game now and as it goes forward in years to come?
Well, our objective is that we constantly look to innovate. How do we enhance the fan experience? How do we create content that our fans are excited to consume and that they will in turn regurgitate after their experiences are over? Hence, the announcement of the Band of the Year. We know that in the HBCU culture, there's a 3-legged stool. One is football, which includes tailgating and the socialization and homecomings and everything around that. The other are Greek organizations and the role that they have, and we're proud of our relationship with the Divine Nine and the MOU we have with them. Now we've just added the final leg. This is going to be a nuclear weekend when you think about championship. This doesn't happen around any other game, any other bowl game, anywhere in the country. And we think that Atlanta is the right place for it. We think that our HBCUs, it can't be a better stage for them to showcase what we do. And we also believe that the implications for the Band of the Year will also feed down into the high school levels, because now band directors are going to be looking for the best talent, which means that we'll elevate high school band programs. And then high school band programs will be elevated because at the middle school, they want to be in band programs there because everyone wants to compete. And this is an opportunity for our marching bands to do the same thing.
We got 2 questions, and then that's it.
Why was it so important for you to include the D2? Oh, I'm Simone from HBCU Game Day. Why was it so important to include the Division II bands, even though most of the events are centered around the Meac and the SWAC?
That's an excellent question, and thank you for asking that, because we're all family. When you think about the HBCU platform, we must think about and include our Division IIs, and this was an opportunity for us to do that, to give those fans an opportunity to engage in something around championship weekend. So the pursuit for excellence cuts across, all areas and cuts across all forms of life. We all want to be excellent. We all want the opportunity to compete, and we believe here in Atlanta was a great opportunity with the platform of the Band of the Year to give our Division II schools an opportunity to walk on a stage of that size.
Stephen Gaither, HBCU Game Day. Mr. Grant, how will this play off? I mean, obviously in the Celebration Bowl, everybody starts off with a chance in the beginning of the year, and then people eliminate themselves. How will this play out, or will folks just get to the end and kind of be surprised at which 2 bands will be there?
No, it's actually, if you think about the model for the college football playoffs, you have a committee that evaluates play throughout the season. That committee then puts out a ranking. And the goal for every team that's a part of the playoff pursuit is to get to the top 4, because the top 4 are going to go to the playoffs. It's the exact same model that we apply here. Every band is their goal, if you're Division I or Division II, your goal is to get to top 2. That means every time you hit the field, you're not necessarily performing against the band on the other side of the field, you're performing against the entire field. Every performance matters. The winners from this will be you, the fans, because you're going to get to see the absolute best that our bands have to provide, because there is a prize at the end, and that is our national championship.
Thank you so much, Executive Director. And we just want to give a few minutes. You know, our press conference for the Meac Swac Challenge is a little different. And so typically speaking, we'll bring up a band director if we have one in the house. And we so happen to have Don Roberts. He is the band director for FAMU, but also a former drum major. So if you would just speak just for a moment on the importance of having this opportunity to expand our Celebration Bowl.
Okay, once again, my name is Don Roberts, and I am not a band director at FAMU. I am a graduate of FAMU. I'm a former drum major on Florida University March 100. I am a former band director at Southwest DeKalb High School for many moons here in the Atlanta area. I also have the only professional HBCU group in the world, which is Drumline Live, where college graduates, when they matriculate, they have somewhere to perform after college, Drumline Live. Which I started after the movie Drumline, the movie. And I just want to say something about Mr. John Grant first before I get started. This man is a visionary. Okay, he pushes every button that you can't imagine that can be pushed. And before I give my thoughts on this, as Tanitra asked me to give you my comments about this whole process, I want you to think, because I already know the answer. Name an HBCU band, college band competition. It doesn't exist. The movie Drumline was fiction. That was the only drumline. That was the only college band competition. The Honda Battle of the Bands is not a competition. It's a showcase. The Battle of the Bands is a showcase. There is not an annual competition for HBCU bands. Even though they're extremely competitive, there has never been a competition for college HBCU bands on an annual basis. So this is cutting edge. There are no losers. There are no losers. The bands we posted on ESPN.com on a bi-weekly basis. To have those bands posted on ESPN.com and to see those videos, because we posted videos of the bands, it's a win-win for everybody. That's a platform for Division II, which was a great question, Division I, and to be able to follow the bands just like you follow the football teams is just incredible. So I can't take credit for this. Mr. John Grant, you're a true visionary. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Thank you so much. And I will tell you, my friends over at Southwest DeKalb would probably have my head if I did not acknowledge them and give their band director his flowers for being their band director and a FAMU alum. So thank you again to Don Roberts. Thank you all media for your patience and also for being here for our spirited conversations with Coach Pugh and with Coach Taylor. We do appreciate that, and for the exciting announcement that Executive Director Grant just shared with us. I know that, like you said, when we look at HBCUs, it's all about football, it's all about D9, and of course, it is all about the pageantry of our band. So excited that that's going to be a part of the culmination of the HBCU college football season. Want to thank you guys again for your patience with us. Of course, you know that we have refreshments for you at the end of the event. And of course, our coaches, our title sponsor, Executive Director, and me, we will come through, ask you guys to come back up for photos. But yes, Meacs looking for their 12th game win here, and the SWAC is looking for back-to-back wins in the Meac Challenge. So as you guys said earlier, will it be the OG Coach Pugh or will it be our new school head coach on the block, Coach Taylor? We will see on Saturday, August 26th, right here at Center Park Stadium. So thanks again on behalf of our Meac Swac Challenge leadership, executive leadership. Again, my name is Tanitra Batiste. I am completely and totally honored to have moderated this afternoon. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you on Saturday, August 26th. Thanks again.